I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the entrance to the Pinnacles picnic area. It's about mile marker 36. There's my little red car. And this is going to be a real short hike. I'm going to go back down here and get on Skyline Drive and turn right and head south. A couple tenths of a mile to a hairpin turn in the road. And then I'm going to go down the side of the east side of the mountain for a little ways, looking for the site of the old Sexton Shelter. It was pulled out decades ago, but I saw it on one of the old topo maps, so I'm going to go down here and see if there's any evidence of where it used to be. The elevation here at the picnic ground is 3350. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down to a 3260, and here's where I came from. Down Skyline Drive is Pinnacles picnic grounds up there. Down this way, and when you get to this sharp bend in the road here, I'm gonna veer off and go into the woods down this way a little ways and see if I can figure out where this shelter used to be. It's maybe only the length of a football field from here, so see what we can find. That's one thing I noticed already, just stepping in here. There's a lot of pine trees right here, all clustered together. That's pretty much a dead giveaway that this used to be cleared out area. I'm down here's the one possible area. This is pretty cleared out compared to the surrounding areas. Skyline Drive's up there a little ways. I don't know though. I don't see anything at all as far as an old shelter. It could have been completely dismantled though, I don't know. I'm gonna look around a little bit more. Well, that cleared out area was over there, but then I came over this way a little bit further north, and this is another possible area. I've been to some other old sites where there was magically a big pile of dead wood piled up like this. And this is where the pine trees start too, so this is another possibility. I think I'm going to go down here just a little bit too and look around down there. That's kind of flat down there too, so that's another possibility. It's awfully overgrown here now. Should have done this earlier in the season before all this overgrowth came up. Maybe I'll come back sometime in the wintertime, look around, but I don't really see anything. But this is the approximate area where it was. Could have been over there, the first thing I showed you. It could have been here with this magic pile of trees blown down. It could have been right down in there somewhere where it's a little bit flatter. So now I'm down here just in this lower section, and that right there looks like it was dug out some, as if to level this area off a little bit. Look at that. That's a piece of clay pipe. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. If I had to put my money on it being somewhere, I'd say I'm starting to. The only thing is, right here, sorry for moving the camera so much, but right here is the headwaters of this little creek here. So there's a spring around here somewhere. It might be a little further down the side of the mountain. But this part right here is really kind of dug out as if that would have been just behind the shelter, and the shelter would have been, you know, pretty much right here, and it would have been facing like this. I don't know. This would have been a pretty good spot, although when it rained heavily, this might have gotten a little wet with that creek there. That piece of pipe over there is kind of curious too. Just laying there. So that's where I was standing a minute ago. But now I'm starting to think this stonework here was part of an old road. I'm going to go up there and take a look. And look at this. Isn't this curious? A survey benchmark. Down here in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so down there's where I was standing, saying that might be a good spot to put the where the shelter could have been, and then that buildup of rocks there, and it comes around the bend here. Probably can't tell from these videos, but it comes around the bend here, and maybe you can see it heads on down that way. See how cleared out that is? So there was a road down here. Now probably the road provided access to the shelter for maintenance and so forth. Because when PATC built the shelters, they always put in some way of getting to it with a vehicle for maintenance. I'm going to walk down here to where it looks like it dead ends and see if I see anything else. But it was definitely down here in this area. The shelter was. Okay, I'm back up to Skyline Drive. There's Skyline Drive. There's the bend in the road. I was down there on the other side looking for the shelter. I crossed over here because I knew there was supposed to be an old benchmark here, and here it is. This is a reference mark for Stony Man. It says Stony number 1, 1933. And the arrow points back to the benchmark, which is up on the summit of Stony Man Mountain, which is that way. So back in 1933, it would have been a clear view from here up to Stony Man. It's not clear anymore, though. This is a map of today's hike. I'm going to show you two different maps actually. The first one is Stony Man 1933. Now, this is before the quadrangle maps. The scale of this one is 1 to 62,500. The quadrangle maps I usually show, the scale is 1 to 24,000. But I had to go back to 1933 to find the Sexton Shelter located on a map. It's on this map. They show it right here at this bend in Skyline Drive. Now, in 1933, Skyline Drive would have been a new road that they put in through here. So if you just notice, this is the Rappahannock and Madison County line coming up here at like a 45-degree angle. And then this area right in here is where they put the Pinnacles picnic area. And I'll show you on the other map in a second, but I basically parked up here at the Pinnacles picnic area and hiked down here around this bend and then down the side of the mountain looking for this old shelter. So let me switch to a more modern day map. This is Old Rag Mountain, 1994. Now, if I come to the same spot, and it's also to a different scale, like I mentioned a minute ago. Right here's the Pinnacle Picnic Ground. This is Skyline Drive coming down from the north. Here's that same bend in the road. This is mile marker 37's right about here. And right about here is where the Sexton Shelter would have been. So what I did was I parked up here and hiked down Skyline Drive till I got to this bend, and then went down the side of the hill here looking for this shelter. Now, I didn't find it, and to tell you the truth, I was kind of doubtful I'd find anything anyway. This shelter was built in like 1930, and several years after that, the Park Service ordered it removed. Now, what I read, the reason was because there's a number of wells that were drilled here, and there's spring water in this area, and also some wells were drilled to feed water up here to the Pinnacles picnic area, and the Park Service was worried that the human activity right here next to the water source might contaminate it. Maybe they had other reasons too, but that's the reason I read about. So anyway, they pulled this shelter out. The only thing I really found down there was I found traces of an old road coming down right down through here, and right about here I found maybe a foot-long section of old clay drain pipe. So I don't know. Maybe if I go back in the wintertime, when there's no underbrush growing, maybe I could find some more stuff, but that's all I found today. Anyway, it was a real short hike. It ended up being 1.3 miles and 200 feet of elevation. Oh, the other thing I did on the way back up from down here, I crossed over Skyline Drive over into this area over here, and I located one of the reference marks for a Stony Man. Now, Stony Man is a couple miles away, way down here somewhere. And then this is one of the survey reference marks that they put in. And what that does is this mark and the benchmark up on top of Stony Man is a known azimuth. And I just showed pictures of that too. So not a whole lot on today's hike, but I kind of enjoy looking for these old shelters and things. And that was the hike for today.